Hi, this is Ben Ling and welcome to Ben's Business Podcast episode number 61. This week's been pre-recorded, some video done inside Ben's Business Book Club on the 5th of February, earlier this month in 2019, and it's all about the fear of publishing video online and camera shyness and how I overcame some of these obstacles and how you can too. So I was answering a bunch of maybe 6-7 questions from different people on that topic, so I hope you enjoy. Hi everyone, I'm just going to share some tips and answer some questions about some things that have come up on my Instagram stories I've been posting about the fear of publishing online video content and kind of overcoming that resistance of publishing the content that you've been creating and not pushing it out there or pushing yourself on Facebook Live, and even some lessons of how I overcame that fear. So I've got a list of a few reasons of people actually gave me reasons when they replied to my video. If I asked them, why do you resist publishing content online? So here's some of the answers I got, which are very interesting and are things I can completely relate to as well. I'm here on Instagram Live as well, so I'm on two Facebook Live and Instagram Live platforms, so I'm practicing what I preach and I don't feel any nerves right now doing this. Maybe I feel a wee bit of nerves, but that's like positive nerves, and that's what comes with public speaking as well, is that the anxious or the anxiety that comes is actually because you want to do well. It's not a fear-based anxiety, and that makes you perform and do better and go into your genius and actually perform even better. So the anxiety, it's not about avoiding that anxiety or fear. It's about embracing that and using it to make yourself even better, propel yourself to be even better when you speak on video or in public in front of a live audience. So one of the reasons was they hate their voice, so they hate playing back and hearing their voice and wondering what the hell people are thinking. So one of the ways I got around that, because I can completely relate to that, I used to hate hearing my voice back on when I went on YouTube, when I uploaded my videos. I used to just publish it sometimes and I wouldn't listen to my voice too much back. I would just make sure there wasn't any as and ums, and that was one of the big restraints for me, is that I hated hearing the as and ums and crutch words that were just kind of filler. I didn't have any space in between my content, so I would go on to the next point really fast by filling that gap up with an and it's things like that. Like if you don't like the sound of your own voice, then that's something to work on, because that will automatically help you overcome that. It's just like any skill. So if you're wanting to start a business and doing marketing, the first thing you should do is get really good at marketing. And it's the same with if you're planning on doing video. If you want to do video, the first thing you need to do is get better at speaking, because that's what a video is all about. You can't just go on video like you see people doing. It takes a lot of effort if it doesn't come naturally, which to a lot of people it doesn't come naturally, especially overcoming the nerves of it is one of the hardest battles that I've had to fight and overcome myself, and this is me teaching you how to do the same as what I've done. So the other one was it was a conversation I had. Actually wasn't a reply to my story, but it was the idea that like they had relatives, like it could be ex-boyfriend, husband, wife, but also family members who don't really agree with what you're maybe sharing, and that actually turned someone off of continuing to publish video content online. This is a very confident person that I know, and I was so surprised to know that they were scared about publishing video content, because for me, when I watch people speaking up on stage and being great public speakers in front of a live audience who they're comfortable in front of, but then I hear them telling me that they struggle to push that same content out on video to the world, and it's the fear of criticism and caring what other people think. And I guess that is a hard thing to get over. When I started publishing video content on Instagram, where I originally started publishing my content, what actually before that step was I did a lot of practice on just filming myself like this on my camera, and I would do it and leave the videos saved inside my camera roll, and they would just stay there just as almost like journals and documenting things, and I wouldn't share that with anyone. Maybe every so often I would share it directly with someone on WhatsApp and send it directly to someone, but most times it was just messages for myself to hear. And then when I did that, I built my confidence of just, or maybe even a habit of jumping on camera and just starting to talk. And then I got better at that, and as I got better I got more confident to start talking straight onto Instagram and start filming directly through Instagram and Facebook. And then eventually I started when I started publishing that out there, knowing that my friends and things were in the group and on Instagram and on social media, that took a big battle. But what I did actually was the people who maybe responded to it with like silly messages or comments that were my friends. Like eventually, this is the truth, I actually blocked some of my friends that were really not interested in the content I was sharing, and we're still friends, put it that way. But I knew that like there was a line between the stuff that I talk about, business, philosophy, self-help stuff, and then I've got my friends. I'm almost like in between the two of them. I'm a different person in a way. So there was a part where if people really didn't like it, or I got any sort of negative hater comment from not friends but like just from anyone, I just block them. I don't really care anymore. So I just block people when they don't agree with what I'm doing, or they really are just being negative for no reason. Just block them. That's my best advice. When you're really, if it's holding you back from putting your message out there, then that's the best way to do it. Block them. And then on top of that, obviously another like mental process to get over that as well is realize that there's people on the other side of the camera that are looking for your help, and they're waiting to be coached by you. So when you're looking at, don't see a camera lens. I said this in my last video. Don't see a camera lens, but see people on the other side sitting, listening to what advice you've got to give, and they're listening, actually receiving a lot of value from your wisdom, and that's the focus. So your focus should not be on your friends or your family or your haters. Your focus should be on who you're serving. And if you keep that focus, like a really strong focus before you go on that video, and keep that focus throughout, because it can even, like, you can dip out of that focus and think about haters that may be watching live in the middle of a video. And that's happened to me. I felt very anxious in the middle of some of my Facebook lives, and I have to then sort of train my mind to go back to the focus of what am I doing this video for? I'm helping you guys watching me live right now, and that's what I'm focusing on right now. And that keeps you in your genius and out of your ego. The other thing is time constraints, and that's a great excuse, but at the same time that's what it is. It's still an excuse. So he says getting myself ready for doing the video, creating the script, and then speaking about it in the most influential way. So there's a couple of parts to chop that down, as getting yourself ready for the job and creating the script. That does take time. This took me a wee bit of time to obviously gather that content about what's, like, it was a question I had about what stops you from creating content and pushing it out publicly. And I knew there was there's a niggling reason. It's not just about like time, but it's actually like an emotional thing, a fear-based reason why people don't put enough content out. And it makes me sad to see that like people are holding themselves back due to fear when they've got really good messages to share, and there's like really great people even watching me live that should be doing more video. So thanks for joining, Kevin. Yeah, watch the replay. If anyone's watching the replay, just put in the comments #replay so I know that you've watched it, and leave me any comments and questions that you have, and I can maybe add on to this if you're watching live. So it does take time to figure out how you're going to word it, but ideally I have something there for myself. I have a structure, because I can't, if I've did it before where I just go on Facebook Live, and it provides no value to you, the viewers, because I'm just talking off the top of my head. I want to have, it's just like going on a phone call or a meeting without an agenda. It can go anywhere and it can be too long. So I want to get through certain content and sort of talk about it tick that off, talk about it, tick that off, and get to the bottom of your page of what you're talking about, a couple of bullet points and structure that you want to talk about, and then just finish it up and move on, so that it is valuable to people. And you're talking about problems that people, you're actually trying to solve problems. So I'm trying to solve people's problems that they've mentioned to me, that I've got a list of them here. So I'm trying to bust those excuses that they've come up with why they're not putting content out there, because there's always a solution to all these problems. So it does take time, but I don't think that's a good enough reason why you're not doing it, because you can create the time. You make the time for something that's important enough, just like you have to go to work to pay your bills. So if it was really that important for you, you need to create like a sort of burning desire to make sure that you create that time and stick it into your weekly timetable and schedule, so that you make the time for it. So like, for example, I set myself, because I wasn't doing enough video because I didn't have enough time, I decided I'm going to do a Facebook Live at 2 p.m. every Wednesday, and I publicly committed to that, and I've did that for over a year now. Every week, a weekly Facebook Live video. I got also go on Instagram Live. Hello, Alfred. Thanks for joining me on Instagram. And Alfred Gonzalez here. What type of public speaking book do you recommend? Talk Like Ted's a great book by Carmen Gallo. I also recommend everyone in here attends what me and Kevin, who's also commented here, attend Toastmasters. So look for your local Toastmaster club. I've got to attend one in Dunfermline and Fife in Scotland here, but they are an international club, so they're all over the world. So you probably find one locally. You might have to drive an hour, but it's definitely worth attending, and it's more practical because you only get better public speaking and videos by actually doing it. So, you can read books about it, but that's just gives you the knowledge and maybe a wee bit more confidence. There's some great tips about public speaking in a book called The Essence of Success by Earl Nightingale as well, but I don't recommend overly reading on public speaking, because it doesn't really fix the problem. If it's nerves, if it's fear, you have to just the best way of overcoming fear is, or the acronym for fear is, what is it? False expectations appearing real. And really, that is what it is. It's just false. It's just you have to defeat that idea of your anxiety of the future, of what might happen if you do a talk and screw up. You just have to keep learning from any mistakes that you do, and you have to that's the way to learn about public speaking, is by actually doing it, getting feedback. Toastmasters is a great way, as well as a couple of books that I would recommend like that. How to Read a Person Like a Book's good for learning body language when you're actually up there speaking and figuring out the engagement of the audience, which I can't do through video just now when I'm live. So I don't know what you're thinking. So some people might want to leave Facebook Live, and I can't tell because I can't see your body language. But if you were in front of me today and I could see you with your arms crossed and kind of looking out the window, then I would know that I need to start changing the topic that I'm talking about, or change the angle, or maybe even ask people to raise their hands or stand up, or get more engaged, because you're going to lose them if they start looking like they're just fed up at what you're talking about. So keep an eye on the audience as well about like kind of their body language. But this is about video, and it's hard to do that. Time constraints. Planning out the script is really just bullet point. Have a beginning, three key points about what the main point to kind of back it up, and then an ending and conclusion. So teach them, tell them what you're going to teach them, tell them about that in content and give context, and then tell them what you taught them. That's the best way to structure a video of any type. So I'm giving you the content, the meat right now, and I've even went off topic because I'm answering some questions in the middle of it. Sometimes it's better to leave questions to the end, which is to keep people engaged on Facebook Live and Instagram Live. It's better to acknowledge people who are watching you live and leaving comments, because otherwise they tend to leave and they don't ever watch the replay. And speaking about it in the most influential way, that's kind of, again, talking about like keeping people engaged. How do you do that? I highly recommend you study kind of what copywriting is, and using like kind of different types of vocabulary and different ways to say things, and copywriting, kind of sales, been learning about sales, and copywriting is a very important way to influence people so that like, people understand or people want to stay engaged. So for example, telling someone there's something important, very important at the end of this video, so stay tuned till the end. There's different ways to keep people and influence them through your video content, and really just developing your skills and practicing your content day after day and getting better is the key way. The other one was Shyness, and he said being introduced to new people and blacking out, so kind of that dizziness and like just getting overly overpowered by emotions to the point that you can't talk anymore or engage. So that again, that comes with experience by really starting small, doing those videos like just through my phone, so I'm getting in the habit of doing it, then starting to share it through Instagram stories, which are kind of hidden, they're not public really, people have to come and look and seek and find it, and then publish it on your main feed, on Facebook feed, on your Instagram main feed, and kind of take small steps like that, so just one step at a time and work your way up. Developing your skills, reading the books on it, attending Toastmasters, and practicing in just such small ways. Like if you're really that shy to the point that you feel like you're going to black out when you're speaking to new people, then the best advice I would have for you is just go to a coffee shop and have a cup of tea or a coffee every day with someone, and just build your confidence through sort of a normal way, just getting out the house and being with people more often, and develop yourself that way. Just like really take really small steps, and simply going to a coffee shop every day will be one way of building your confidence. He says it always gets very awkward with new people, so that's the best thing, is just to get better with people, be with more people. You can't get better with people from your living room on your own behind a screen. And the last one was, I don't know if people will like it or how people will react. Again, I did a video about this a long time ago, and I republished it on Facebook recently, about be the guinea pig sometimes. Don't just read the books about it and be safe in your comfort zone. You have to put these videos out there and trial new things. It's all about trial and error, and even getting great feedback from people. Toastmasters, again, you'll get real feedback from people, because the whole point of Toastmasters is everything's analysed and evaluated, so you get an evaluation on your speech, and people will tell you, they're forced to basically tell you what they didn't like or what needs to be improved. So they'll tell you what they liked, what could be improved, and what they loved. So like the sandwich technique of evaluating, you tell them something positive, negative, and then positive again. And that's one of the ways that you can get that kind of feedback. But also putting videos out there is the only way you're going to find out if people will like it and how they will react, because you'll get reactions the more content you put out. So the key is just to put content out and overcome that fear of rejection, and start small. And that's one of the best ways to do it. When you throw yourself into the deep end, it is too much. So start small. Don't go straight onto Facebook Live, because I found that really hard. Start small. Start with these small 15-second clip videos that I put on Instagram stories, and that's a good way to be hidden but also be public, and your main fans will see that content until you're confident enough to go onto your main Facebook profile and start a Facebook Live where all your friends and family and even your clients are. So I started small, and I recommend you start small as well. So that was all a list of some of the things. I hope this video was helpful for you. Sorry if it dragged on a wee bit, but I had a lot to get through. That's why I did it on a Facebook Live rather than doing a mini video. And I've had to go outside, as you can see. I'm out in the garden just to get some peace. So again, there's a lot of restraints when you create video content, and sometimes it's noisy where your filming studio is or in your house, and it was today for me. So I just had to find out how I could get Wi-Fi. So the office is just through the window in front of me, and I've found a way. I've got an outdoor charger, so I've got that plugged into my tablet, and I've also got my phone here. I didn't have my tripods with me, so there's always restraints when creating video. And one of the other keys to all these like sort of objection to your excuses is you're aiming for perfection, and that's the problem. Don't aim for perfection with video at the beginning. People do like the realness, the kind of vlogging style videos. So vlog style videos are like what I'm doing on this this camera here, it's moving about. People like the realness of your video and just being authentic. So ideally, imperfection is okay on video, and people actually like that side of it. Obviously you want to mix it up with some really high quality video, but like the majority of my content has been quite imperfect, because I just go on my video when I'm inspired to do a video. I maybe write a wee tiny bit, couple of bullet points, 3 bullet points, literally a couple of words explaining what I want to talk about. So I've got voice, haters, time, shyness here on my bit of paper, and I know what I'm going to talk about. I've kind of prepared mentally before I went onto Facebook Live. I won't go on Facebook Live unless I'm slightly prepared, so don't think that I just come on Facebook Live and I know what I'm going to talk about. It's not all in my head. I've not got a great memory, so that's not what happens. I have to be prepared, and I stick bits of paper behind the lens where no one can see, so I don't get lost. And that's the beauty of video as well, is you're not in front of a crowd, and I find it less nervous to talk on Facebook Live, Instagram Live, than I am in front of a crowd. Whereas I've seen people the opposite way around who find it very hard to do video. And I think the thing about video, the fear about video again, is the fact that it's going to be out there forever. So it is important to get kind of what you want nailed down, but you can also delete it. So never forget that. You can also delete that video and take it off the internet forever. And you can also leave it up on the internet forever. So there's a balance, and I think at the beginning you're never going to be perfect, so the key to getting better at video is to do video and take it one small step at a time. Thanks for watching, everyone. I hope you found this very helpful. If you've watched the replay, just type in the comments #replay and leave me your comments and feedback on this. It would be appreciated.